Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, we're going to talk about the truth behind Rhea Ripley vacating the women's title.
The latest on Drew McIntyre's WWE contract status.
Why WWE is hurrying along with Becky Lynch.
And an update on AEW and my best friend Maxwell Jacob Friedman. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
We will be back later on today, sometime this afternoon, with another news video talking about that Tony Khan interview that got a little spicy. Hating WWE, WWE hating AEW, everyone hates everyone.
Can't we all just get along? No.
It's wrestling, no. But let's talk about Rhea Ripley a little bit first. She vacated the Women's World Championship on last night's episode of Raw. We kind of knew this was coming. It was reported before the show by PW Insider.
I didn't.
He wasn't online.
I went to bed, woke up and went, why's she coming out with her arm in a sling?
You're not as chronically online as I am, evidently. Probably something to do with having a kid, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it came out before the show that Rhea was injured and that she'd probably have to vacate the belt and that she was hurt in a backstage angle. Immediately I went, oh, that chair beamed off her head. Maybe she got a concussion or something. No, she came out, her arm was in a sling. She vacated the title and said, I'm gonna kick some ass when I come back. That's how she spoke. Yeah. She is the Undertaker. But Fightful Select have a report that came out shortly after all of this, noting that the word that Rhea was injured actually came out following that segment with Liv Morgan the other week, last week, and as of last Wednesday, people were talking about the possibility of her being injured and maybe having to vacate the title. So this has been ongoing for almost a week. It was a freak accident, this situation. It happened when Rhea went into the wall during the segment, so it wasn't just the chair going skadoosh. Well, I mean, you hit someone in the head with a chair, it probably doesn't injure their shoulder as well. Morgan is playing up the injury. Obviously, she's saying it's karma on her revenge tour. However, there's no backstage heat on her and she's not being blamed, which is good because it was a mistake. So there you go. That's the truth. The truth behind all of this. Best wishes to Rhea for a speedy recovery, obviously. No word on how long she's going to be out for or the nature of this injury. New champion's going to be crowned next week, did they say?
Yeah, that's what it seems to suggest, unless they're just going to announce a tournament or something.
But we don't know who it's going to be or how they're going to do it.
Nia Jax.
It should be Nia Jax.
Come on, Nia.
She had a fun little backstage segment last night. But there you go, Rhea Ripley taking a bit of time off. She had some segments for the Judgment Day where she was like, hey, look after this freak.
Juggernaut.
Yeah, she definitely called Dom a freak as well. But yeah, there you go. There's a video of her and Triple H having a wee hug on socials and stuff. It sucks.
Yeah, rubbish news this. Like I say, I had no idea. I woke up this morning and started watching Raw and I was like, weird, they're getting Rhea Ripley out first. And I was just thinking it'd be like Drew or someone like that. And then she came out on and singing and I went, this doesn't look good. Yeah, devastating this. Nothing on Liv Morgan, like you say. Amazing that you can go through what was it, 10, 15, 20 minute match with Becky Lynch to open WrestleMania. No problem. Bump into a wall slightly. Oh, say goodbye to your title reign.
Say goodbye.
It's one of those ones yet again where it's like, is it a blessing in disguise? Because then when she comes back, she never lost the title, so you can just reinsert her back in there and she's still got all the momentum. Mammy is super over. She'll still be super over when she comes back. And my God, is this a benefit to Liv Morgan's story? Not that she would ever intend to do something like this, but a revenge tour where she's getting back at someone for being injured and then injures them, not deliberately in storyline maybe, but not deliberately in real life, of course. But yeah, I think this is a really intriguing development. I'm fascinated to know. I'd probably put the title on Liv Morgan. I'd like Nia Jax as well, but Liv Morgan feels like the most sensible option. I hope they have matches rather than just the old Triple H. There you go.
Just hand it over.
Because that seems weird. And if that's the case, they just give it to Liv Morgan, everyone just be like, oh, cool, so I'll just kill Cody Rhodes and then I'll become world champion.
Yeah. I wonder if this will impact their draft plans as well. You'd imagine that.
Good point.
You'd imagine that Mother was going to be a big fixture in all of those. So it'll be really interesting to see what they come up with. I think there's a few viable candidates. Nia would be fun. Like, her comeback has just been ace, so I'm kind of here for it. I kind of want her to beat Liv.
Could put it on someone like Tiffany, really push her to the moon straight away.
Yeah, bring her over from
Roxanne Perez, if she gets called up, straight in, wins the title. There's some really... And it's going to be really interesting as well to see what the Judgment Day does in her absence. You sense from the way they presented it last night, she's not going to be just sat in the clubhouse with her arm in a sling. She's just going to go away for a bit, which is probably for the best. And now there's a bit of a power vacuum, sort of. Like, she's sort of been the unofficial leader for quite some time. Maybe Edge will come back with his big chair.
Why the hell not? Why the hell not?
Not heard anything about Edge for ages, but good luck to Adam Copeland, whatever he's up to.
Who are those guys? I'm not sure who they are. Let us know in the comment section what you would do with the women's title and who you want to see win it. Liv, Nia, Becky, someone else. I don't know. Let us know.
Best wishes to Rhea, though, of course, in her recovery. Let's bring you up to date on Drew McIntyre. Watching WWE television, one would assume he'd signed a new contract. He's heavily featured at WrestleMania. He wins the world title. He loses the world title. He's basically set to become number one contender until CM Punk screws him on the Raw after WrestleMania. They're going to Scotland. He's all over the advertising for Clash at the Castle. He's not signed a new contract yet, according to Fightful Select. His deal is set to expire before June, and yes, that's right, that's before Clash at the Castle. It was set to expire prior to WrestleMania 40. Time had been added on to take it up to June. But yeah, no new contract has been signed. Fightful also interestingly noted that the former WWE EVP of Talent Relations, Dan Ventrell? Dan was removed from his position last week, of course. He'd only reached out to Drew about his contract last month after he'd been booked in the World Heavyweight Championship match. It's going to be really interesting to see how this happens. They do have the opportunity to do the best thing ever, and that's the Summer of Drew. It's a Punk storyline featuring Drew McIntyre with a show in his home country, properly this time, not like just near it, in Wales. That's what I'd do.
Yeah, absolutely. In Sheamus's backyard. He will, in Mason Ryan's house, he will win the belt. He's
sticking around in WWE.
Definitely, yeah. I don't see him leaving. However, he does have the opportunity to do the funniest thing of all time by getting all this focus and then going, see you later. But yeah, I think the Summer of Drew is probably my dream scenario here. I think that could be really cool. Like if he wins the belt and they fully work it. Yeah. Like if they work indie promoters and stuff. Obviously, not everyone's going to fall for it.
They've got a relationship with TNA.
There you go. He could go wherever he wants to go, brother.
Before, of course.
Galloway all over the place. Him showing up.
One more show for WCPW. Let's go.
Okay. Him showing up all over the place would be a lot of fun. Like ICW, why the hell not? Go back there. Let's do all kinds of fun things with this.
Got an idea as well for the headline when he does the and leaves the Clash at the Castle with the title and leaves the company. Ock Bay. You know, like okay, but Ock Bay.
Ock. Right, let's talk about Becky Lynch.
Please move on.
You want a contract update on Becky Lynch as well, brother? This is from the same report, PW Insider, but it's interesting enough. Her contract's expiring. She said before Mania, it's in 2 months, all of that stuff. Apparently, at the moment, right now, WWE are making it a point to ensure that Becky is re-signed before her deal expires. They don't want her becoming a free agent, which is believed now to be in about 8 weeks' time. This isn't 100% confirmed or anything like that, but this is a very, very out of character for WWE before the takeover.
Yeah.
Previously, they would lock down people like a year in advance. Now they're letting it just get down to the last couple of months. So it sounds with what they're doing with Becky that maybe they're trying to get back on track here. I do wonder with all of this if maybe Becky is being prepped because it's like, oh, Rhea's going to be out for a while. Help! Come back!
Yeah, that contract just got another 0 added to it, didn't it?
Yeah, there was talk of her taking a bit of time off after WrestleMania, of course, where she lost to Rhea.
Makes sense with Seth being off as well.
Yeah, it does. Enjoy some family time. And all of that stuff would be nice. But yeah, it sounds like they're hurrying her along and going, hey, we kind of need you. Yeah. Not that they didn't already.
Yeah, you can't really let 50% of the women's revolution go to AEW. And yeah, who knows what would happen if that was the case. But yeah, understandably. I mean, Becky, you could do almost anything with. Like you say, I'd let her have some time off now. There is a need to bring her back with this void left by Rhea Ripley, but you know, you want to give her a good storyline, not just, please come back and be world champion.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you say, with Seth being off and you know, she's got a family, it's a very different set of circumstances to say 5-10 years ago for her and her family. But yeah, if I was WWE, I'd be moving mountains to re-sign her. And she's such a big star. Like, she's been on like Billions and stuff as well, so she's like a crossover star too. You cannot afford to let her go, and they've got enough money to secure her for decades.
As long as they and she want, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely a person I would be looking to keep hold of in a big way.
Shall we keep that contract ball rolling?
Let's roll.
And talk about MJF.
Roll
Mike Johnson coming through with the report on BW Insider regarding MJF. The latest on him is he is contracted to AEW, just to clarify. I don't know if people got worried when I said contract ball. He's still contracted to AEW.
He's going to TNA, brother.
He's locked into a deal with the company. All the people who said, well, I can't wait to see him on the Raw after WrestleMania. And I said, which year? He's still working to recover from multiple injuries, of course. That is the latest update. He wasn't in attendance at Big Business in Boston a few weeks back. But he did meet with AEW officials in Boston the day after the event. He hasn't been backstage at AEW since leaving all the storylines behind. No word on when he's going to be returning. My God, do I miss him.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation with him. People thought he was going to show up in the Royal Rumble, and it's like, is it not quite clear that this gentleman is re-signed with AEW?
You know how they didn't mention the bidding war of 2024, or all in the second half of 2023?
Yeah, you know how that sort of ceased becoming a storyline? He had some really bad injuries, and he had to wrestle through them for ages and ages, and he's resting up and he's recovering.
His hips realigned or something.
Yeah, it sounds like his whole body just started falling apart, which it does for pro wrestlers. So,
what happens when you carry an entire company on your back
back. Creatively, I did not enjoy the last 6 months or so of MJF's output. I didn't like the Devil. I didn't like the Adam Cole stuff. Let's go, like all the skits and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just not for me, right? It's not to my tastes. So I'm hoping that when he comes back, it's refreshed and renewed and with a slightly different focus. I'm a bit disappointed. I was a bit disappointed that his title reign turned out to be a bit more wacky than like a Nick Bockwinkel title reign, which is kind of what I expected from MJF, given his influences and stuff. It's not to say it was bad, just that it wasn't really to my flavor. I just prefer other stuff, but I am excited to see him come back. He's far, far too talented to not miss, and I hope he doesn't do it until he's ready.
Yeah, exactly. Like you say, some people understandably not the biggest fan of how that title reign turned out, but there's no one denying he's not a brilliant pro wrestler. He's going to be one of the biggest stars in the industry over the next few years. It would have been very interesting if his contract was up this year rather than next, with the shifting landscapes of both companies. But yeah, he's going to be in AEW for the foreseeable future. It's going to be very interesting when he comes back, because like you say, Andy, I think a lot of people are like, right, let's get old MJF back. Let's get bastard MJF, sorry, Pac, but a real git back as world champion. I never saw that, but still, you want to do that, but you do kind of have to deal with the fact that Adam Cole and the Undisputed Kingdom and da-da-da-da-da. But I think a lot of people are like, yeah, so get out of the way, and then move on to him being, I don't know, fighting for the world title again.
The Undisputed Kingdom haven't exactly pulled up trees since MJF's been away either, but the Adam Cole cat and mouse is the return story, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Yeah, but I want to see, just give him a mic and let's go.
And make it serious.
Yeah.
Keep it serious. That's
pissed off. He's injured. He was injured. He was away for a while. He can come back. He'll probably. This is the thing. He's the best version of him is heel MJF.
I agree.
But he's going to get a hero's reception when he comes back. And I'll be honest, I think the company needs him to come back only when he's ready, like you say, because I'm really not invested in large parts of AEW right now. A lot of it is just wrestling happening in front of me. Great wrestling, not to be denied, but like I want to see Swerve win the world title and things like that. And I really like the Tony Storm arc and
short one tonight, boys. She's funny. She's funny.
She said she was going to beat Azumi so bad it would be featured in Fetish Chronicles or something.
Fetish periodical.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's a great line. AEW just needs to have a killer pay-per-view the weekend, and then we can...
Good point, yeah. Dynasty this bloody weekend. And we'll be talking more about AEW later on today.
And the programming's been really good this year, I think. I actually like it when it's just wrestling happening in front of me. Personally, the comment section is going to hear this. I think there's too much story in wrestling. I'm not even joking. But yeah, let's go. Let's question.
Yeah, let's move on to your Twitter questions. At WhatCultureWWE on X, of course. You want to get
so much crap for that, man.
It's
anyway,
just another day on the internet for us.
Yeah.
Michael Purnell says, do Do you think Sami Zayn will win the world title at next year's WrestleMania after winning Tag and Intercontinental at the last two? I'm saying now he'll win the Rumble next year.
I don't think he's ever going to be a world champion on the main roster. And you know what? I think that's totally fine.
Yeah.
You know what Sami Zayn is? He's WWE's version of my favourite wrestler, Tomohiro Ishii. He's going to have all the mid-card title reigns and they're all going to be great and everyone's going to love him and he's always going to be over and he's always going to be this tremendous underdog that everyone wants to see every single week, but he's never going to win the big one, and I don't think he should win the big one. Sometimes the underdog story should just stay that way, and I also think that they maybe have more compelling options for world champions in the future. I don't think he's going to do it, and I don't think he ever will, and I think that's fine.
Yeah, he's not my pick for the Rumble, I'll say that. I'm conflicted because I do kind of agree that his underdog story doesn't really work if he just wins all the time. But he's just so lovable. The last 3 WrestleManias that he's been involved in have just been killers. Johnny Knoxville was a class match. And then you got winning the tag titles in the main event of 39. And then you've got defeating Gunther this year. Maybe. But I will say right now, with that amazing angle to end last night's Raw, I'd have a relatively brief IC title reign. I'd put it on heel Chad because, my God.
Kurt Gable.
Kurt Gable would kick ass. And then that frees him up around this time of year for, Sami Zayn winning Money in the Bank, baby. And then he can call a shot for WrestleMania.
He's done it again. He's done it again every single year.
I was like, when he won the IC title, I was like, oh, okay, well, that dream's gone. Oh, yeah. And then Perk Gable showed up last night, and I was like, pull the title on him.
That was funny when he was like hugging his family and stuff, and this guy just goes, whoop!
I went to close what I was watching Raw on because I thought, oh, that's nice, but Joe's finished.
Yeah.
And then I just saw him go, whoa!
I couldn't find Raw on Discovery Plus this morning. What the hell's going on? Get your act together, Discovery Plus.
Yeah, I briefly flew to America to watch it instead.
You showed up to America, there was a dog there, classical music was playing. It was amazing. What a time.
If you know, you know. But I'll tell you what, Scotty doesn't know. Great name, by the way, on next to Chris Kibble, who gives us our next question. It says, good morning, legend. Morning, Chris. Simple one today. Is the new era of professional wrestling now hotter than it was during the Attitude Era?
Oh, no, it's not even close. No. Like, it's not even close. Business is great, everything's great, the shows are great.
They're making more money than ever.
Yeah, they're making more money. I'd be interested, like, they're richer than God. But, like, go and watch the average Attitude Era show. It's ridiculous. Like, obviously the crowds in WWE are really good now. But that's for the top stars, right?
Yes.
Like, and there's a big list of top stars who are really over, but you can go and watch an Attitude Era show and flipping Mideon will get a pop.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It just doesn't quite compare. I think we should just let this era exist on its own as what it is, and what it is pretty damn great. It's not as hot as the Attitude Era.
No, don't take this as us being negative. It is phenomenal right now if you're a WWE fan in particular. But it's never going to reach the peaks of the Attitude Era because that was a very special time. Think of all the crossover appeal. Yes, we saw, Roman Reigns and The Rock on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
I always get them confused with Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
They look so similar. But that's because it was WrestleMania season. You would probably get on in the Attitude Era, it'd be like June and they'd be on like the biggest TV show in the States. So, no, it's never going to be that level, but it's awesome right now, and it is breaking through into casual fans and what have you. The guy who serves us coffee, the brilliant lads at Good Brews, we were talking about it just the other day. Mates of mine who haven't watched wrestling in years are like, well, The Rock came back, and now this is going on.
And he had a match.
People are getting back into it, and that's great news, particularly for us, but also just for wrestling fans in general. And I just like the fact that it's expanding back out of America again and not just going to Saudi or Canada, not to compare those two places, but you know what I mean in terms of location and money. Now it's like France, Germany, England, all over the place. Australia, it's awesome.
Business is booming. Being hot is a slightly different thing, and they are hot, but we're not in the center of the sun here quite yet.
Yes. Final question today comes from Robert. I'm going to say Robert Mueller.
Mueller?
Because if I say Robert Mueller, people will think of the investigation in the States. And I'd assume he doesn't want to be associated with that.
What?
I'll tell you after.
Okay.
It's Trump related.
Okay.
Good morning, wrestling heroes. Morning, Rob. What is the best and worst gifts you brought back for friends and family from WrestleMania?
No, I didn't bring a lot.
No, we were cheap, weren't we? We spent all our money on cheesesteaks.
Cheap buggers. I do wish I bought a Final Boss t-shirt, I'm not going to lie, from a truck rather than just online, because then it's more of an experience, isn't it? I bought my girlfriend some little knickknacks and some chocolates and stuff. Got a little Liberty Bell, got a little fridge magnet. We have a thing where every time we go on a trip, we get a fridge magnet from the place and go... So we've got a nice little collage along with some magnets of cats sleeping on sushi for some reason. But I also got myself like a nice Philadelphia, what are they called? My favorite team, I don't even know their name. The Phillies.
The Phillies, yeah.
I got a sweatshirt in a medium. And my goal is to fit in it by the end of the year because I'm a chonk.
Philly Flyers, is that?
That's ice hockey.
Yep.
And then the Eagles.
The Eagles have been there, been to their stadium.
Rivals of the Baltimore Bastards.
Indeed.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah, I've got a Liberty Bell fridge magnet as well for every bit of my extended family because I thought they all look great, so I'll just buy 10 of them, basically. Yeah. The best thing I bought back was a Benjamin Franklin bear for Eric that he loves. He's got a little hat, he's got the glasses and all that. The worst thing I didn't actually buy because, well, I'm not sure we can get a picture of it, Ben Roy, up on the screen now. I went to buy before I went to saw the Benjamin Franklin bear, I saw a cuddly Gritty. Right, which would have been the worst gift. A, because it was $50. I made of bloody money, right?
Yeah.
And also, if you've never seen Gritty, if we can't find the cuddly toy picture, here's what he looks like. Eric would have never slept again.
No, you've cursed that boy for life. Good job.
I love Gritty.
Shouts to Gritty. I wanted to go to a Flyers game, but there wasn't any on.
Yes.
When we were in town. Rubbish.
Good. Anyway, let us know your thoughts on everything we've discussed. Join us later on for more AEW tribal war WWE stuff.
Let's go to war, baby.
And in the interim, why not check out this video?
Yep.
Bye.
I don't know what one it is, but it's here.
Oh, it's a mystery.
It's a good one. Clicked best for viewer.